Ladies and gentlemen, I want to speak to you about Julissia Batties.
The mother explained that the child hit her head on the table.
Do you believe that?
No.
There's clearly a case where they failed this little girl.
They came, they spoke to them. I seen her with a black eye on like Thursday or something like that.
Where they failed the grandmother.
And what my granddaughter said was, Mom hit me with a hammer.
And where they failed the little girl's father.
She walking around black eyes and all of that. Next day they see her with shades on at a party. Didn't even sleep. She was my best friend.
The thing that I can't understand is how would you allow during a pandemic a child or locked in with their abuser?
I was trying to keep this from happening.
They did this family a serious injustice. Welcome to another episode of Matter of Opinion. I'm your host, Walls P. And if you enjoy the content, definitely become a member to show your support for the channel. And if you want to hear that raw, uncut, unfiltered content, definitely join the locals. The link is in the description. So ladies and gentlemen, I would love to speak to you guys about Julissia Batties, a 7-year-old girl who was allegedly murdered by her mother and her stepbrother.
An investigation underway this morning after the tragic death of a 7-year-old girl in the Bronx. Now the child's grandmother is speaking out and demanding answers.
The mother explained that the child hit her head on the table.
Do you believe that?
No.
Police say they found Julissia Batties unconscious inside an apartment on Alexander Avenue in the Bronx. A police Yolanda Davis tells us her granddaughter, who she has raised since birth, went last April for a court-ordered weekend visit with her mom.
The weekend became 90 days. 90 days became, you have to do an independent review.
Davis says she repeatedly went to ACS and SCO Family of Services to get her granddaughter back, not knowing why she was being allowed to stay with a woman she tells us abused the young child.
At the age of 4 years old, the date was April 13, 2018. And what my granddaughter said was, Mom hit me with a hammer.
One neighbor who did not want to be identified says she made calls to child services multiple times.
I would hear screams. They came, they spoke to them. I seen her with a black eye on like Thursday or something like that. So that's why I called ACS, because she told me her mother did that to her eye.
5 days later, this bright-eyed little girl was dead.
A source told Pix 11 the teen might have been angry that the little girl was taking snacks early on the morning of Tuesday, August 10th. The New York Post reported the teen brother confessed he hit the little girl 8 times in the face that morning. But those punches are not what caused Julissia Batties to die. A medical examiner told Julissia's grandmother there was evidence of trauma to the little girl's stomach with injuries old and new.
ACS and SCO Services has failed me.
Now there's a couple of things that the news didn't include. Number one, police has been called to the home at least 6 times between May 2018 and March 2020 for suspected abuse of the girl. Number two, 35-year-old woman who suffers from bipolar disorder has 8 previous arrests, including 2 for menacing. The thing that I can't understand is how would you allow during a pandemic a child pretty much be quarantined with the person? I don't care if it's their mother, their father, or whatever the case may be, but how do you allow that person to be quarantined or locked in with their abuser? And the reason why I say abuser is because there was multiple calls made about suspected abuse. Is that not like a death wish to the child? Another thing I gotta ask is when the neighbors was calling about these domestic abuse when the mother had the child during the pandemic, why did not at one time the cops show up to do an investigation? Because what it sounds like is only Child Protective Services came. But when you get multiple calls of foul play like this, why not bring the cops along so that they can do their investigation? And pretty much as you see, the grandmother was fighting like hell so that she can get the child back because she knew the environment was unsafe for that child. We always hear stories about Child Protective Services are quick to take children away from abusive or homes that they're being mistreated. So why not in this case, where everything points to this child is in a dangerous environment, you not pull that child away? I would like to know, like, what was it that thought it was okay to leave this child in that environment? And the crappy part is 5 days after they got the last call, that's when this child ultimately died. When I read this article, I felt as though Child Protective Services did a disservice to the grandmother, did a disservice to the 7-year-old girl, and did a disservice to the father of that little girl. That was a serious injustice to that family. And because of it, a little girl is now dead. And the crazy part is, at this very moment, to my knowledge, the mother and the stepbrother have not been arrested yet. So the investigation is still going on. Now, if you would like to hear my unfiltered thought on the situation, definitely click the link in the description to join that locals. But with that being said, rest in peace, Julissia Batties. You have been failed, not by your grandmother, but by the system that's in place that should have kept you protected from such heinous acts. I'm Walls P. This is Matter of Opinion, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.
It's a matter of opinion.